What up, guys? It's your boy Chillfish from Rising Duelist, and today I'm coming at you with my thoughts on video on Monster Reborn. Now, if you guys remember watching my thoughts on Solemn Judgment video I did forever ago, I talked about how I wanted to talk about Monster Reborn, its kind of impact on the meta, and how it's kind of evolved and changed and everything. It's kind of what we can expect from it. So this has been a long time coming. I apologize, guys. It has been crazy here at the Rising Duelist studio, trying to coordinate with everybody, trying to keep in touch with this ever-changing meta, and all this other kind of fun stuff. But let's talk about Monster Reborn real quick. This is one of the most OG cards in the entire existence of Yu-Gi-Oh! I agree, it's one of the most iconic cards, especially if people who've never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! You show the Monster Reborn, they're like, oh, I've heard of that card, or I've seen that card. So I want to talk about this card really quick with you guys, because it's been a while. This has been out in the format for a good solid, at the time of recording this video, about a month or so, a little bit over a month. And this is, and I firmly believe this is a staple, one of everyone needs this deck, a card in the deck. You really can't argue with me that a deck cannot have some sort of benefit from playing this deck. But let's talk about how broken it really has been, if it even is that broken. Very similar to Solemn Judgment, these are cards that are very powerful, but they're kind of swingy. And not swingy in the sense of that, yes, if you do, top deck this Monster Reborn, this definitely could be the nuts. You can definitely go into stuff, steal someone's card in their graveyard, so your own monster, kind of go for the game. We're not really seeing it that much. We're not seeing those really big, back in the day, I'm gonna steal your Blue Eyes White Dragon, Kaiba, or whatever kind of things. We're not getting these big boss monsters being stolen. Though of course you're playing kind of Protect the Castle, big, boss monster decks like Shadinos, playing like Light Sworns with the BLS. Want to bring back some card that you've lost in your grave. This does help out in a lot of those kind of ways, but usually people are kind of snagging these cards to gain effects from either link monsters that have already been linked, use them as material for a link, use them as material for something, whether it's a link monster, whether it's a fusion, whether it's very rarely a synchro, an XZ, or even if it's just, I've even seen people steal it for hand traps, because, Soul Ogre, for example, Ghost Ogre or Soul Rabbit, for example, can still use the effect of its tributes from the field. So I've seen people snag someone else's Ghost Ogre just to sit on it so they have something. Whether they use it as a tuner, a light material monster or something, or just they have a negate on the board. That's what's becoming more of. It is almost reminiscent of the OCG-esque style of play, where this card is no longer becoming a tool, so to speak, to make big boards, drop big monsters, and go over a game, but more of kind of skillful. I'm going to steal this card to do a play next turn. I'm going to steal the negate. I'm going to steal a link, a fusion, or something that, even if I'm stealing a material to gain an effect and then use it for links or something like that, this has kind of changed a lot of how it's been played. And this honestly opens up the floodgates, for me at least, for what other cards could come back from the this ban list that everyone's been afraid of these cards for so long. I mean, ever since I started playing back in around 2013, ever since that, wow, it's been 5 years, Monster Reborn has been banned, and everyone has always said how busted it would be, and how ridiculous, how unfair, and how swingy. And yes, if you top deck this card, this can be kind of busted, but it's no different than top decking a Raigeki, or even a Dark Hole in certain situations, or even a Soul Charge. Now, I'll talk about that in just a minute with Soul Charge. But with Monster Reborn, it's becoming more of an OCG style-esque thing, so I'm wondering if we're going to get other OCG cards coming back. Like, could Harpy's Feather Duster come back and make the kind of same thing, where it's no longer a blowout option, but kind of a skillful take down when you can, and trip up your opponent. I've always said this from the beginning of this channel, that the TCG is just create a giant board, bend your opponent over the table, and just have at it. Versus OCG, where it's I'm going to kind of play alongside you, kind of like speeding up with you, but then when the minute you make one false move, I'm going to trip you up and then use use that ability to come back and make a bigger impact. That's kind of it. I think OCG is a little more skillful, more technical in that term, versus the TCG, where it's just big board. What are you gonna do about it, bitch? In terms of Monster Reborn, this card is slowly transitioning from that big board to more of a skillful playset. Now, let's talk about Soul Charge real quick, because Soul Charge is everyone. I mean, I was even afraid Soul Charge was gonna get banned when links came out, because of how open-ended links are to create link materials, so to speak. Well, on paper, people are thinking, well, Monster Reborn is way better. It can target either player's opponent. You can attack, you can do anything. There's no real cost except for activating the card. And yes, you're correct, but Soul Charge, unfortunately, while it has some major stipulations like paying 1,000 per monster, no battle phase, you get 5 monsters versus Monster Reborn only gives you 1. And I never thought I would be hearing myself saying that I think Soul Charge is a little bit more busted or a little bit more abusable than Monster Reborn, but that's the truth. Which card should come back? They're both at 1 right now. Which card would be becoming kind of more of a semi-limit? Honestly, guys, what do you think down below? If you're gonna have one of these cards come back to 2, what would it be? Would it be Soul Charge or would it be Monster Reborn? I can see both sides of the argument. Where Monster Reborn, if it came back to 2, this would be a much more sacky, bricky card, and it would be, you know, just if you had 2 in your hand, you would be set for the rest of the game because you can steal your monster, opponent's monster, steal a Link, steal 2 boss monsters. I mean, hell, for Shadinos, because that's what I've been playing a lot now, I could bring back my Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, I could bring back Winda, I could bring back anything. I could even bring back Dogron to my side of the field, you know, so to speak, and you could just have this massive board thing. Or if you were to have 2, you could kind of link, you know, if you're, you know, linking all of your Link 2s and 3s to create a bigger model, like 4s, like Saruja, like Decode Talk, or Firewall, whatever have you, then you could do Monster Reborn, bring it back. Because Monster Reborn is not once per turn, no life cost, or battle phase. This is where, coming off to 2, it's a little bit more dangerous and wild card. But Soul Charge, on the other hand, if Soul Charge came back to 2, this would be a very interesting paradigm. You'd have to be I think this would be a little more skillful, because you wouldn't want to activate 2 Monster Reborns and pay 10 grand of life points to, or no, Soul Charge, pay back 10 grand to bring it back a whole board. But if you did have 2, you could play a little bit more reserved, bring back 2 monsters, maybe 3 each turn, and you're still only paying that life cost. Or if you know, I'm going to bring back 2 monsters now, I'm going to lose anyway, I'm going to bring out all 5. It's a double-edged sword, because you can bring back all of your monsters, or some monsters, but you lose the life points, you lose the battle phase. Versus Monster Reborn, which doesn't involve either, but what do you guys think? Please comment down below what your opinions are. Is Soul Charge the more powerful card? Is Monster Reborn kind of the bigger thing? This kind of transitioned from the thoughts on Monster Reborn to kind of a versus debate, but really, guys, Monster Reborn, it's leaving an impact on the meta, but it's not nearly as big of a deal as it was. And honestly, I'd be nervous with this new ban list coming up, because they're, you know, in theory, Konami said they have a ban list in April, and up until last year, they've always released one on April 1st, by the way. But if this is the case, now we're having the new Lost Art promotion. We're getting the left, I think it's the left leg of Exodia. Honestly, I don't really care about Exodia, so I'm not really worrying about it. I was really wanting Monster Reborn. Because of that, now that art promotion is now changing, Konami has the complete right and capability to immediately go, this card is now banned again, have a good day, see you later. So I can see that becoming a problem, but could it be? Could it go back? I don't think in a competitive sense it is creating that much hype. But now, and if you now, Konami could easily release new Monster Reborns or new rarities, or even Instructor decks now to help boost that stuff. And they could, I don't know, they can make kind of a quick buck on it. But what do you guys think? Is Monster Reborn kind of no longer relevant? Is it becoming more skillful? Is it not as good as you know, Soul Charge? What do you guys think? Comment below, like and subscribe. If you guys want us to talk about a specific card, video, deck, or anything, please let us know, because we want this to be a channel you guys want to watch, and we're trying to just give you the best Yu-Gi-Oh content as possible. So it's Chillfish from Rising Duelist, and I'm signing out. Peace.